His voice was hoarse, rough from months of disuse, but the words cut through the room like a physical blow. "Get your hands off me, Sienna." The entire room froze. The reporters, whose cameras had been flashing incessantly, suddenly went perfectly still. My parents stopped mid-sentence. Penelope gasped, stepping forward. Sienna's hands, which had been resting delicately on Felix's arm, snapped back as if she'd been burned. Her perfect, meteor-ready smile faltered, her eyes wide with shock. "Felix, baby, what's wrong?" "It's me. You've just woken up, you must be confused." "I'm not confused," Felix rasped, pushing himself up slightly against the pillows. He winced, but his eyes were clear and burning with a cold, terrifying clarity. "I remember everything." My heart hammered against my ribs. I stopped walking, glued to the spot near the door. Felix slowly turned his head, his gaze sweeping past Sienna, past Penelope, past the doctors, until it locked onto me. "I remember the smell of blue cheese," he said, his voice gaining a fraction more strength. "I remember someone bending my fingers every single day. I remember hearing the financial news read to me at exactly 8:00 a.m. He looked back at Sienna, his expression devoid of any affection. "And I remember you standing in this very room, telling Ruth that if I woke up, she'd better disappear so you could take the credit." Sienna's face drained of all color. She looked like she was going to faint. "No, Felix, you're hallucinating. The trauma, the drugs." "I heard you, Sienna," Felix interrupted, his voice dropping to a dangerous register. "I heard you refuse to marry me. I heard you call me a vegetable. You didn't spend a single night in this room. You didn't change a single sheet." He turned to his mother. Penelope looked absolutely devastated, her hands covering her mouth. "Mom," Felix said, the disappointment evident even through his weakened state. You knew Ruth was the one who pulled me back. And you were going to let Sienna steal it." "Felix, please understand," Penelope cried, stepping toward the bed. "The company, the stock, the public image. I don't care about the image." Felix snapped, the sudden exertion making him cough. The monitors beside him beeped a quick, warning rhythm. A doctor rushed forward, but Felix waved him off. He looked at me again. This time, the coldness in his eyes melted away, replaced by something entirely different. Something soft, vulnerable, and incredibly raw. "Ruth," he whispered. I took a tentative step forward, my hands trembling. The reporters were practically vibrating with excitement, their cameras capturing every second of the implosion of the Floyd-Reedy engagement. "Come here," Felix commanded gently. I ignored my parents' furious, panicked glares and walked to his bedside. I didn't look at Sienna. I only looked at him. "You remembered," I said softly, the relief washing over me so intensely my knees felt weak. Felix managed a small, tired smile. "I promised you 20 million, didn't I?" I couldn't exactly forget a debt like that. I let out a breathless, choked laugh. Tears prickled at the corners of my eyes. For the first time in my life, someone had actually seen me. Someone had recognized my effort, my existence, without tossing it aside for Sienna. "But we have a problem," Felix continued, his eyes locked onto mine, completely ignoring the chaotic room around us. "A problem?" I asked, suddenly nervous. "Did he change his mind about the money?" "Yeah," Felix said, his voice steady despite his physical weakness. "I don't want to give you $20 million to leave." The room went dead silent again. Sienna let out a sharp, hysterical sob. Felix reached out, his hand shaking slightly as he found mine. His fingers, the same fingers I had bent and massaged every day for 6 months, intertwined with mine. His grip was surprisingly warm. "I want to give you everything," Felix said, loud enough for every reporter, every doctor, and every family member to hear. "I want to honor the arrangement we made. Not the one my family made with Sienna. The one we made." He looked at Penelope, then at my parents, who were standing near the door, looking completely horrified. "I am breaking my engagement to Sienna Reedy," Felix announced, the authority of the Floyd heir returned.